Hello and welcome back to the Nasty Metal Production channel here at YouTube. So after releasing the Phase Fate EP in December of 1987, the EP definitely marked a transition in sort of sound and in musicianship. Still holding a bit of its sort of raw, sort of youthful sound that you definitely heard on Kill for Pleasure, but also showing a change in sort of where they would tighten a bit of their musicianship, really kind of going for more of a technical, I guess you could say, but more pristine direction that you would hear on the third release. But as they were already about to record the third release, which was going originally to be called The Last Remains, they already recorded about 5 tracks at least before original guitar player Adam Tranquilli left the band. So leaving the band as a 4-piece, only leaving with members such as Gary Markovich, Mike Basden, Louis Starita, and Kevin Kuzma, Kuzma, whatever. Sorry. So leaving only with those 4 members there to then go back and re-record tracks. While you can still find the Last Remains stuff that was recorded with Adam Tranquilli on this compilation that'll be released in, that was released in 2002, titled Remnants, The Last Remains, which also features the Bloodlust demo and a live track. They then scrapped those recordings and decided to record the album from scratch and called the album right here, Chopping Block Blues. And this was definitely a difference in sound. Everything is more technical. Everything's more pristine, as I said. While it was definitely hinted of more on their Phase Fate EP, everything was definitely, it was really kind of tightened on here. It's more melodic in a way, more technical, just more pristine. It's definitely, hinted in the, the first song, The Last Remains, which the album was originally going to be called. It was definitely hinted at, especially with that track, and then going into Hunted, Stalked, and Slain, the song that introduced me to Blood Feast. And of course, you got the title track. Of course, also a cover of the Mighty Sphincter, which is a punk band, which is Hitler Painted Roses. And of course, you got songs such as Dropping Like Flies, Born Innocent, Turn to Dust, The Chemically Imbalanced, Spasmodic, and of course, Remnants, the last track. The whole thing is just more technical, a little more progressive in a way, because of it's not sloppy as it was on there. Everything, like again, the musicianship and everything is all tightened on Chopping Block Blues. And Gary Markovich is not sounding as manic as he was on Kill for Pleasure and the Phase Fate EP. He's starting to sound a little more, I guess you can say he's strained a bit, holding a bit of his screams a bit more. But everything here is more pristine. So, while it's definitely a good album, it was, of course, their first album for being on a new label, which of course was Restless Records. Of course, Restless Records did a lot of stuff for Metal Blade. But, of course, later on it would still end up being released through, New Renaissance Records. Of course, this is the 2002 reissue put out by New Renaissance Records, and this album is very hard to come by still. It doesn't matter what copy you'll find. You will always see this at either $40 or whatever. It's definitely crazy, but it's a good album nonetheless. I really dig it. It's more thrash, where I guess you can still hear a bit of that sort of death thrash sound to it. Kind of more taking cues, I guess you could say, from like Death, maybe as well. Kind of like that Moore sound, almost think on that Florida sort of sound kind of might have creeped into this album a bit, if you ask me. Thus why it's starting to be, why the whole technical sort of, switch in sound that definitely showed up on this album. So, after releasing Chopping Block Blues, the band ended up splitting up. Of course, later on, they would, reform. Of course, these days, Adam Tranquilli is the only original member, so that will definitely lead us to the new and, well, comeback album from Blood Feast. So, time to get to that. So, if you have definitely listened to this album, you've got any memories of this or any thoughts on the album, you can definitely post your comments down below. So, I'll see you later.